In a dense and wild forest, where sunlight had to weave through thick layers of leaves just to touch the ground, lived a strong and solitary old tiger. It did not belong to any herd, nor did it have a fixed territory. It followed instinct, living by the rhythm of a wild heart. That tiger was a living legend of the forest. The scars on its back told stories of battles with leopards, snakes, and even humans, and none had ever been able to subdue it. Each step it took silenced the forest, every roar made all creatures bow. But the most terrifying thing was not its sharp claws or lightning speed, but its eyes, the eyes of one truly free, who bowed to nothing. Yet, because of that freedom, it lived alone. It had no one to call a friend, no one dared come close. No one comforted it, no one praised it. Only the night wind, the rustling leaves, and the lingering scent of blood near its claws kept it company. But it never complained. To it, solitude was the price of freedom. And in those blazing golden eyes, freedom was worth everything. One autumn morning, while the mist still clung to the leaves, strange sounds echoed through the forest. A group of people arrived, bringing horses, wine, wooden chests, and drums. But they carried no weapons, did not hunt. They came dressed in ceremony and admiration. For the first time, the tiger did not see fear in human eyes, but reverence. They knelt from afar and offered a gift, a collar of pure gold, carefully engraved with the words, "The Tamed King." The leader of the group spoke. "We do not wish to capture you. We wish to honor you. We will tell your story as a legend, a king who rose above his instincts to live among all creatures." The tiger looked at the collar. It shone in the morning sun, reflecting its image, not that of a bloodthirsty predator, but a dignified, respected being. It did not growl, nor claw. It bowed its head, allowing them to place the collar around its neck. A thin rope was tied. Not tight, not pulling, more simple than restraint. From that day, the tiger no longer hunted near where humans lived. It was called gentle, wise, the peaceful king. And for the first time in its life, it felt acknowledged. A year after the tiger received the golden collar, the forest had changed. A small shrine was built near where it usually rested, and raw meat was offered every morning. Children called it Grandpa Tiger, and adults bowed respectfully when passing by. No one feared it anymore, and it no longer roared. One early winter afternoon, an old merchant entered the forest. He had once traded spices through the most dangerous jungles and had heard the legend of the tiger with the golden collar. When he saw the tiger lying beneath a tree, sunlight falling on its now faded striped coat, the merchant wasn't surprised, only silent. He approached, keeping his distance, and spoke. "You were once the one who made the entire forest hold its breath. Why do you now let yourself be bound by a collar?" The tiger looked at him. Its eyes no longer blazed with fire, but were calm like a still lake. "I am not bound. They do not pull, nor chain me. They only placed on me something they call glory." "Glory?" The merchant frowned. "Yes," replied the tiger. "They no longer fear me, they honor me. They say I am noble, restrained, respectable. And for the first time, I felt loved." The merchant looked at the collar. Golden under the setting sun, beautiful, yet quiet like a doorless cage. He said nothing more. Only turned silently, leaving the tiger lying with what they called glory, though deep inside, it never truly understood what it meant. Time flowed like a quiet stream through the ancient forest. Seasons of falling leaves, the first rains, and generations of new people came and went, all passed, leaving behind a forest increasingly crowded and noisy. And the tiger, the king of old, still lay there beneath the familiar tree, the golden collar quietly around its neck. But now, it was no longer the same. Its once glossy coat now speckled with gray, the once blazing eyes held only weary glimmers. Every step uncertain, every stretch slow. It no longer roared, no longer roamed the deep forest. It lived on offered meat, on whispered prayers, and on memories of the days it was truly itself. The golden collar had changed color. Its once bright gleam now covered in rust and the dust of time. Where it touched the skin, it left dents, eroding the fur and creating faint, aching wounds. But the tiger did not growl, did not remove it. As if the collar had become a part of it, not an ornament, but a fate. And then, one day, the old merchant returned to the forest. He was older now, hair snow-white, steps slow but eyes still bright. When he saw the tiger, its head resting beside the old tree, breathing softly in fatigue, he stood in silence for a long time. No more crowds, no more cheers, no more morning offerings. Only an old tiger, once mighty, once revered, now lying like a quiet shadow. The merchant stepped closer. The collar was still there, rusted, worn, yet still engraved with the familiar words, "The Tamed King." And in that moment, he realized, some chains don't need locks to imprison the soul of one who was once free. The old merchant knelt beside the tiger. He no longer saw a beast that once terrified the forest, nor a king once worshipped. Before him was a creature drained of strength, lying silently in the fading light. He asked softly, "Do you remember me? The one who once asked you about the collar?" The tiger's eyes opened faintly. They were cloudy and tired, but deep inside, a flicker of recognition gleamed. It nodded slowly. "Do you still see glory in it?" The man asked, voice low, without judgment. The tiger sighed, its breath heavy, as though it carried the weight of the old forest. It closed its eyes and spoke. Not with a roar, not with pride, but like a final autumn breeze. "At first, I thought I had traded solitude for affection. But over time, I was no longer loved, only used. I was no longer free, and no longer myself." A stillness settled. Only leaves fell, and a breeze brushed gently past the wounds around the tiger's neck. "If I could choose again," the tiger continued, whispering, "would choose to keep my claws, rather than bear praises that bind." The merchant bowed his head, his eyes red. He said nothing. Because he knew, some lessons only come when it's too late. And in that final sunset light, the old tiger, for the last time, closed its eyes. But this time, not from exhaustion, but because it had finally spoken the truth.